Thank you, Ash. Thank you, Dave. Thank you to the committee. Thank you, everyone that makes this meeting possible. My name is Nikki, and I'm a recovered addict and a grateful member of Cocaine Anonymous. Okay. It's mad, isn't it? I was thinking about this today. So, next week would have been a year that I sat in this chair to do a share for Dan, right? And in that year, so much has happened. And a year ago, almost a year ago, 51 weeks ago, when I walked into this room, there was a man sitting in this room who I'd spent 6 years of my life with. And that man will never sit in another seat of Cocaine Anonymous because his untreated addiction, we held his funeral a few weeks ago. Now, I share that because not to scare the shit out of people, because, horror stories weren't the thing that got me into recovery. But I share that because that is the reality of this illness when it's untreated, driven to the gates of insanity and death. And the other reason I share that is because despite external things that have gone on for me in my life, I've not found it necessary to take a mind or mood altering substance in any form. And that for me is fucking miraculous. And it might not be for you, but for me it fucking is. And that's not an antidepressant, not a toke of weed, not a sniff, not a dram, nothing. And when I walked into this room a year ago, I'd been previously online and doing this meeting, and I walked into this room and I shared, and I fell in love with the fellowship in this room. And I can't tell you how incredibly grateful that I am for what I found right here. It's a beautiful thing. It's an absolutely beautiful thing. So, so if you are new, if you are returning, if you're a bit on the fence about this, please know there is a seat at the table for you. And there is a seat that you can just pull yourself all the way up to the banquet table, and you don't have to take breadcrumbs. There is absolutely a way out on offer here that you never have to drink and use again. And that for me was not my story. Was not my story prior to coming into Cocaine Anonymous. And the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous tells me to describe in a general way what I was like, what happened, and what I am like now. I am not the woman that walked into Cocaine Anonymous. My recovery has continued to grow and evolve. I'm not the woman sitting here tonight that I was a year ago. And that is as a result of going through the 12 steps and having that spiritual awakening and a change in my thinking and my behaviour. And I didn't dream that was possible when I came here. I didn't dream it was possible. I am the hopeless variety that the book describes. I do absurd things, and, to get another one. I've broken many people's hearts over the years, and begging and pleading wasn't the things that got me into Cocaine Anonymous. I've lost my sanity. I lost my physical health. I've lost homes. I've lost jobs. I've lost relationships. None of them things were the things that drove me into Cocaine Anonymous. For me, if consequences were enough, I'd have been here at 17, and I wasn't. Because I have a lie that lives in my head that tells me there's one more roll of the dice, Nick. There's one more, and it'll be different. And what I don't know is that I've got that lie that lives in my head, and I have no idea that when I drink, I get thirstier, and when I take pills, I get pillier, and when I take cocaine, I get sniffier. I have no idea about any of that. That insatiable thing that happens within me that differentiates me to my friends, my peers, my family, that I don't know when I'm going to stop. And when I stop, I can't stop starting, because I can't sit comfortably in the world. I can't look. This for me is miraculous, that I can look around the room and look people in the eye. Absolutely fucking miraculous. Because there was a time when I first come here, I could tell you what everyone's shoes were like, because I couldn't look anybody in the eye. Because I have this head that tells me, that same head that tells me next time will be different. I go out, I smash my life to pieces, smash my kids' life to pieces, everyone around me, and it tells me I'm an absolute piece of shit. And I come into Cocaine Anonymous, and I believe if you look me in the eye, or I look you directly, you'll see me through who I am. And therefore, that very thing that I believe about myself, that I'm unlovable, that everyone's going to reject me, becomes true. And that wasn't what I found it. That wasn't what I found it. I'm not going to listen. I don't work a perfect program, but when I'm talking about, when I started this share about, I've not found it necessary to take any mind or mood altering substance, I have found it necessary to get up every morning, hit my knees and pray and meditate and sit in quiet contemplation with God. I have found it necessary to read my big book, page 86 to 88, plus 2 other pages. I have found it necessary to write a gratitude list on the days when I don't know that there is anything to be grateful for. The 10 things that I am grateful for. And then when I sit in that quiet contemplation, it all starts coming up. You know, the roof over my head, my kids are safe in their bedrooms. You know, that I've slept in my own bed, which was warm and dry, not in a bush. I haven't got to worry about what's on my phone, who I've phoned, who I've called, who I'm waking up next to. I haven't got none of that. There is so much for me to be grateful in my life for. But my warped perception can still kick in. It can still kick in. And then I've also found it necessary to keep calling my fellows, whoever that is, new, old, you know, in between, the girls that I work with, that I walk shoulder to shoulder with, continue to work with another woman, turn the pages of the big book. I have found all that necessary because the book tells me that my life depends upon it. And if I don't do that stuff, and if I don't continue to take action, my experience has been here is that I become very unwell very quickly. And I ain't talking about, oh, I got up this morning, I didn't pray, or fuck me, and now I need to go and use. I'm not talking about that. I am talking about, I have had a period of time here where I have had clean time, then I've had recovery, then I've just had some clean time, and then my head tells me, do you know what, you've been doing this long enough, you don't need to do it anymore. It's all right. Don't answer the phone to that newcomer because you can't be dealing with that today. Don't tell your sponsor that. Don't check yourself during the day with a step 10. Don't worry about it. It's not that bad. You know, all of that stuff starts to go. And for me, relapse wasn't, I woke up on a Thursday and thought, oh, fuck me, I really fancy a bag. It was that internal stuff that came. And I don't know about God-shaped hole. I know that there's too much of me in the way of me that happens with God. God can't get in. I listen, people have different, I'm not here to talk on anyone else's experience. I'm just for me. And too much of me gets in the way, and my selfish wants and needs and all of that stuff. And then I'm off and running, I'm acting out. And I may not have even picked up a substance at this point, but I am as animalistic and manic, untreated, without a drink and drug as I can be with. And the truth for me was, drinking and drugging for me was a solution. And it really, when it worked, it was wonderful. And early days, as I say, when it worked, it was like that warm, fluffy blanket that put itself around me and I could look the world in the eye. My goalposts start moving. As long as I'm not doing that, then I'm all right. And then I'm doing that. Then as long as I'm not doing that, and then the goalposts fall off the fucking edge of the earth, you know? And no matter the necessity or the wish, I just cannot stop. For me, this is the only thing that has ever worked for me. And it talks about in the book, you know, if you are somebody, when you honestly want to quit and you can't entirely, or if you cannot manage and control, God, that stuns me. Imagine being able to manage and control. Because if we could all manage and control, none of us would need to be here. You know, and it tells me then you are likely, in the big book, it tells me you are probably alcoholic or addict, whatever your deal is, with which only a spiritual experience can conquer. So not my mum, not my kids, not a job, not a fantastic holiday in the fucking Maldives, none of that stuff. And we see it here, right? We see it here time after time. And I try to be mindful and stay in the presence of being open-hearted to those that struggle and battle to immerse themselves in that. But it also frustrates the life out of me. But I do understand when you are in that place of absolute powerlessness, there is no choice for you. And we see it, and we see people come in and they come to a couple of meetings and 2 meetings a week or whatever they do, and you know, and working better, feeling better, like it tells us in a vision for you, and we give anything to take half a dozen and get away with it because they're not happy with their sobriety. going to the gym, cold water therapy, breath work, all of that, but not opened a fucking book or took a step. And that's all right. That's all right if that works for you. But please don't tell others that suffer from the hopeless condition of this that that's all right for them. People die like that. I've had many different sponsors over the years for many different reasons. Mostly in the beginning for my own selfish reasons. I like the most chaotic, mad fucker in the room, right? In the beginning. Hasn't got an ounce to offer me. But you know what? My life is quite good in comparison to his. Those were the kind of people. And that was me, because there was no, and that's what I'm saying. So this isn't about me being judgmental on, because I've had them experience. This isn't me opinionating my opinion on you doing this. I've done that. It's painful. It's really painful. I had a big book that sat on the shelves for so long because I was so resistant to this stuff, because that liar in my head told me I could work it out myself. Somehow, someday, I'll drink and use like my fellows. Million experiences show me that's not the truth, but I'll have a go. Sat in the rooms of Cocaine Anonymous, start craving sober, and hand on heart, can honestly tell you, been in that much pain, I've wanted to hang myself. And I've been here long enough to have been to enough funerals to see people that are clean and sober, but taking no action, homeless in CA. And when I say homeless, I'm talking about no home group, sponsorless, serviceless, godless. And then they reach that jumping off place. And I've seen people 10, 15 years wrap a rope around their neck and fucking take their lives because it's too painful. And I've been in that position. That for me is why I know, not up here, in here, I do not have a drink and drug problem. I have a selfish and self-centered problem, that I have to have everything my way, how I want it. Pick and choose the steps. Maybe I'll go to that meeting, maybe I won't. All of that stuff. Been to plenty of different wonderful, well-meaning people over the years who have sat, psychotherapists, counsellors, all of that, and all I've done basically is done a step forward without looking at my mistakes in it, because I can sit and tell you how horrible they all were. And I am here to tell you today, my experience is, I am not an addict because of what did or didn't happen to me as a kid. I am not an addict because of where I did or didn't live. I am not an addict because I had money or I didn't have money. I'm not an addict because I didn't get that job at 16. I'm an addict because once I put something in, I cannot stop, and my head tells me that I will be all right next time. A thought comes that outweighs any other thought. I've got the kids' nativity play. Oh, I just got to go and do this one thing first. Got to get to that hospital appointment. Yeah, but I just got to go and do this one thing first. And I cannot outthink my broken thinking. And so I just run with it. For me today, being in Cocaine Anonymous, not at Cocaine Anonymous, has revolutionised my life. I came here with nothing. And I mean nothing. And I ain't talking about stuff. I'm talking about no hope, no honesty, no love in my life for you, for myself, no consideration, no integrity, none of that stuff, no wanting to give to others. And by sticking around and going through the process of the 12 steps, of getting a home group, of getting service, of getting a sponsor, of getting connected to this power that I don't understand. And I don't need to. I just can tell you that at 3 o'clock in the morning, when I am racked with grief, I know that I can go to God. And no matter what is going on in my life, He's there 24/7. I say He, that's for me. Choose what you like. It's none of my fucking business. Have what you want, but have something that isn't you. Do you know what? It absolutely blows my socks off that I came in here because I just didn't want to drink and use anymore. I didn't want to feel how I felt anymore. I didn't want to cause the harm that I caused anymore. That's what I come here for. And I think originally when I came here because I just really wanted the consequences to stop. And what I found was when I put down drink and drugs was that I felt worse. I felt like I was a raw nerve being battered by the wind until I was scooped up in the arms of Cocaine Anonymous, given some directions, told to follow them, stop asking why. Yeah, but I know. Yeah, but I know. Classic addict fucking language, isn't it? Yeah, but I know. And I just got told just to shush, just shush, just shush. And I did. And I've shared this in here, you know, that there was times where I just had to monkey see, monkey do. Do you know what I mean? It was literally just mimic what is going on here until it becomes your own. Turn up no matter what. And keep turning up no matter what. I've come out of my ass tonight, right? And I've left my ass tonight with my 2 kids indoors in a safe, calm, quiet house that we can all be in together. There's no screaming and shouting. There's no eggshells. There's none of that. I get to travel up here with a fellow, and we have a chat, and then I get to come into a room and feel like I've come home. I've never felt like that in my life anywhere else. What we do here is consistent. What we do here is this ain't based on feeling, right? This ain't based on feeling. There are days, there are mornings when I wake up, as I say, and I'm like, oh, I don't know about this today. That's my first thought. But I'm really, really, really today in my heart aware that if I don't do this, I will be an abomination to everyone. Do you know what I mean? And it might not be that I immediately go and drink and use, but I'm very aware of my experience that I'm not very pleasant to be around untreated, you know. I love my life today. I love my life. I haven't got a massive house. You know, I don't go on loads of holidays. I ain't got loads of money. It's not about stuff for me to. If you've got stuff, that's amazing. But that is not what brings me peace today. What brings me peace is to be who I say I'll be. You know, if I say I'm going to turn up, to be able to commit to that and turn up, to be able to look people in the eye. That's a beautiful thing for me today. It scares the shit out of me sometimes, but it is a beautiful thing. You know, I've got, listen, this is what my day looks like. So if you, back in the day, what my day looked like was a immediate 4 horsemen at the end of the bed, terror, bewilderment, fear and despair, or whatever it is, right? And how am I going to relieve myself of feeling like this? That's what my day starts. My day starts like this, as I say, this morning. I don't know about this. The alarm's gone off. I don't know about this. And then it's like, I can't have a second thought. I just need to get up and do. And so I launch into my morning stuff. I speak to the girls that I am so privileged and blessed to have been gifted. Everything that I have here today, working with others, a home group, a sponsor, a process, has been gifted to me. I get to do them things today. and I have calls, and then I drive to work in a car that's taxed and insurance, and I've got a driving license for. Fucking hell. Who knew? And I go to work, and I work in the recovery field, and I go and do some bits and bobs, and then I come home and I have a chats with my kids about different things, and then I get picked up for the meeting, and I get to turn up. I get to turn up. This year for Christmas, and I know Christmas ain't a great time for everyone and all of that, but this year for Christmas is that I will get to spend. We have our Christmas Day on Boxing Day, so we're a bit weird like that, but I get to spend it with my family. Even in the rooms of cocaine and on us being in recovery, my family didn't speak to me for a long time because of some choices that I made. I have a relationship with that family now. I've made amends to that family. I was clean and sober. I still had to go and make amends because there's still shit that I do. Do you know what I mean? I'm not Mother Teresa. And so I'll get to be with my family at Christmas. And I underestimated, right? I really believed that if I got clean and sober, there'd be a red carpet rolled out for me. Everything that I'd broken in my life would return. And apparently that wasn't the case. And that's all right. Today for me, as a result of a God I do not understand, an amazing sponsor who I love with all my heart, but he's not my God. Let me be clear on that. A fellowship that I didn't know that I needed so fucking desperately. The 12 steps and working with others and all of that stuff that goes with it is that my life is all right. My life is actually all right. It really is. There is absolutely a way out here. You do not have to sit clinging on, waiting for the next life raft to turn up. And if it's the wrong colour, fuck it off or whatever you're going to do. I've never been anywhere in my life, right? I don't know about you, where I've walked into somewhere, met people who are complete strangers. I've absolutely fell bang in love with them, and they have given me their time, their energy, their love, their patience, all of that. I've never been anywhere in the world that you can get that apart from here. I have a family here I didn't come here looking for, but I got anyway. Listen, I don't tell anyone what to do. What I did was got gifted a window of opportunity, climbed through that window of opportunity, got myself a sponsor, got a big book, got a home group, got some service, went through the process of the 12 steps, and then got off my ass and gave it away, even on the days when I don't want to. Permanent sobriety is available here. You never have to drink and use again. And that for me is absolutely miraculous. So blessed, so gifted to have been given this. I don't think I'll ever be able to put the gratitude into words because it's just too fucking big. But I really hope that everyone in this room knows how I feel about them without me having to be too fluffy and all of that, because I've got a reputation to keep, I just look on a last word. All I will say is please know that all anybody wants for you, if you are here, got your ass on a seat, is for you to just come all the way in and sit all the way down, and join us on this beautiful, beautiful offering of life. I don't have an existence anymore. Who knew? Do you know what I mean? So if you want a way out, if you're willing to put in some graft, because it don't happen by osmosis, no one's going to rub you on the shoulder. Oh, wow, there's some stuff to do. There's nothing to get here. There's stuff to do. And if you are willing to do that, you stand a chance. My name is Nikki. I'm a very grateful member of Cocaine Anonymous. Thank you.